This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation, and we're talking about your life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Rachel Cruz, and we are here for you this hour. It is a free phone call, 888-825-5225. Of course, with Rachel here, we're going to take all your money questions. I might chime in a little bit. And, hey, we'll talk about your work, your career, working on purpose. You want that bigger shovel. We'll talk about that as well. And so we are thrilled to be together. This is the first time that you and I have, to my recollection, been together in this duet. So this is very exciting.
I know. That's what you've been claiming, but I think...
You think otherwise, yet you have no proof.
I don't have proof.
So we're going to go with what...
I'm going to go scan the YouTube clips over the last 4 years and see what happens.
All right, so checking in with you. It's always fun to be together with you in the studio. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
3 kiddos.
Everyone's great.
Hubs, everybody's fine.
Everyone's great. I'll just add this before we jump in. I've experienced something as a parent for the first time that I never thought I would be.
Oh, I'm very excited.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So my 6-year-old has done like gymnastics, like she'll do, but not an organized sport. She did in 2020 spring, and then it got shut down, obviously, because of the pandemic. So everything canceled. So this is the first season, fall 21, that she's on a soccer team, little YMCA soccer team.
How exciting.
And she's aggressive, kid.
Is she?
Oh,
boys and girls?
No, just girls.
Just girls. Oh.
And it's not like we pumped her up, like, Amelia, you can do this, like, run fast. You know,
you just let her go.
Yeah, we were like, have fun, Amelia Jane. We'll be
What do you
cheering
mean by
for you.
aggressive?
Always just by the ball, kicking around, all this. Anyway, she scored like 3 times on Saturday at their game.
All right, now hold on. We cannot move past this. This is very exciting.
This is what...
First time she scores. Please tell me your phone, your head was not in your phone and you saw it.
Ken Coleman, I was here at work on Saturday for the Financial Peace Accelerated event. I was not here. I was not there.
You missed it.
But the phone was
sorry.
on. The phone was on from Winston, and he texted me videos, the whole thing.
At he lose his mind?
Well, that's the funny thing is I turned in, so this is the setup. I never thought I would be that parent that's like, look at my daughter.
Of course. Of course.
She's amazing. Look at her go. She's just running past everyone with the ball and just scores. Anyway, so I'm experiencing that as a parent. I've not yet entered that world, and I am a proud athletic child parent.
Sports mom.
Excited.
You're sports mom.
That's it.
So,
I have a minivan. I'm it. Like I was called to this.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm experiencing
Let me tell you what I think the next stage of excitement is, okay? Is because she had a couple of wins, right? 3 goals. Hello, that's a hat trick, all right? Then you start getting excited. Like Friday night, you go to bed and you go, oh, Amelia gets to play soccer tomorrow. You get so excited.
That's how I'm feeling right now, 48 hours.
Yeah, Saturday morning is like the most exciting thing in your life. I get it.
Anyways.
Good for you guys.
That's what's going on in the Cruz household.
So
I've just
fun.
Experienced some new things as a mom.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd be that mom, but there I am.
Yeah, we have 3 football. I was telling James before the show, we have 3 football games this week between my 2 boys.
Good night.
And so your life is eventually, if any more of your kids play sports, your life becomes an Uber driver in between. So there you go.
It's so crazy.
All right, so hey, we'll talk about the busy parenting. We'll talk about budgeting for all the sports, all the things. Hey, it's wide open. We're here to help you. 888-825-5225. Let's start it off in Naples, Florida, with Kristen. Kristen, how can we help?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're having a blast. Kristen, what's up?
Good. All right, the show rocks. I just wanted to say that, and I explain all the principles from the show to my students almost daily because I teach.
Oh, good for you. What grade do you teach?
High school.
Great.
Yeah, so that's great. Thanks for putting it out there. All right, so my question is, I am currently eligible for the public student loan forgiveness for my student loans that I accumulated over the years. And it's at 72 because of interest that's been occurring since 2015. And I'm wondering, because they said that I'll have them paid off by 2028, and I'm only making the minimum payment because I'm on the repayment plan where it's income driven based. And I'm just wondering if that's the route I should take, or should I just try to attack them because I have no other debt besides that. That's it.
How much student loan debt, Kristen, is it in total?
$72,000.
Oh, you said that, 72. Yeah.
Yep.
So the way my philosophy always with this is usually with these forgiveness programs, are you talking on like the national level, or are you in a specific program with your teaching that you're part of something? Because there are organizations out there that are helping with student loan forgiveness, but you have to be in a certain job in a certain system for a certain number of years. Is that the program you're talking about, or more on like a national level, like Biden's going to forgive your student loans?
No, because you have to work in a Title I school district, which I do, and I teach science, so I'm in it. I'm in that program where they said, hey, they'll be paid off by 2028 as long as you make the 120 qualifying payments for 10 years.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so this is how I would go about it. Because of the length of time and because these promises these things have come up multiple times over the past 2 decades. And sometimes it works, sometimes it's fulfilled, sometimes it's not. And so there's all these tiny little details in your story and in your employment, all of that what it ends up being is that you're basically putting your fate of being debt-free in someone else's hands. So my philosophy with it is attack it, Kristen. What you can do and what you can pay down, working to pay it off, because you're going to be able to pay it off faster than 2028. And I don't have the hope and the trust, honestly, that it's 100% going to go through, because the last thing I want you to do is just be paying the minimum payments and you get to 2028 and something is screwed up or something changed or your life changed and you're no longer teaching. I mean, there's so much risk around that idea. So if I were you, Kristen, I would buckle down and pay it off, even though it's a lot. And I know it seems overwhelming, especially on a teacher's salary. But what you can do to put the control back in your hands is what I would push for.
Kristen, which way were you leaning when you called in?
Waiting, but I like paying everything off because I have zero debt besides my student loans. So I was like, well, I could attack these, what I mean? I could put a lot towards it, but then I'm like, wait, I have forgiveness of my occupation, but you never know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, so, if you go at it with everything you got, because you know our program, you teach it, you believe in it, how quickly do you think you can pay it off?
Woo!
Come on.
I'm thinking 3 years.
Yeah, and I think Rachel's absolutely right. You're gonna do it in that amount of time, if not sooner, because of your actual drive. And once you taste some momentum on this, I think it's going to be an awesome push for you. And there is no guarantee. These things are not guaranteed, and I'd hate for you to wait 7 years and then be at the same place you are now versus knock this thing out. You took the loan. You took the loan out. You should pay it back. Now, that's my opinion. I'm not going to rant on that. But if you take a loan out, you ought not wait around for Uncle Sam or somebody else to forgive what you already signed up for. Pay it off. You'll do it faster than you can possibly imagine if you really get after it. And you're going to feel so much better about it. And then you have a story to tell to all those students that you have tremendous influence over. Hey, Han, thank you so much. Kristen, thank you so much for sharing your story. And thank you for calling the show. She is Rachel Cruz. I'm Ken Coleman. We're here for you. Don't move. Coming right back after the break.
Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless.
The Ramsey Show continues. Welcome back, America. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Rachel Cruz, and we are here together to take your questions about your life, your money, your work, purpose, relationships. We'll just talk about it all. We love having a conversation with you, and that's what this show is all about. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. So do you really love the work you do? Is it fulfilling for you? For example, I come to work because I still get fired up about the work I do. And if you're not fired up, you might be stuck in the wrong job or wrong career, not using your talents. We've taken my proven plan that has helped thousands, and we've launched a Power Pack bundle that combines my new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and the new Get Clear career assessment. The team here has packaged it together into the ultimate career bundle, and it's a steal for only $30. I didn't even approve that, Rachel. We're practically giving away the assessment. That's a $30 assessment. They're giving away for $10 with the book. So jump on this. It's going to help you get clear on your talent, what you do best, your passion, work you love, and your mission results that you want to contribute to the world through your work. It's going to give you a list of many professional options that will be in your sweet spot. And the book gives you the proven step-by-step plan to get you up the mountain to that professional pinnacle. You can pick between the Get Hired bonus pack and the Get Promoted bonus pack, depending on where you are in your journey. And that's free, over $100 of value for just $30. So go to the online store at RamseySolutions.com. That's RamseySolutions.com, and order the Ultimate Career Bundle today for only $30. 888-825-5225 is the number. Let's go to Portland, Oregon next. Hannah joins us there. Hannah, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
You bet.
I wanted to ask, I have been following Dave Ramsey since the beginning of this year, and I'm on babysit number 3.
Hey!
And my question was, what is maybe the best way to get into the dating scene and follow Dave Ramsey's plan at the same time? Like, how do you talk to people if you're interested in them about being debt-free and finding the right partner?
Wow.
That's a great question, Hannah.
Boy, I have thoughts on this one.
Wow.
I have some thoughts.
Well, I do too.
But this was what's
great. Would you like to springboard?
No, ladies first. And what I like is Hannah's going to get both sides of the perspective here. Yes. Ladies first.
Oh, I'm ready.
So, Hannah, I don't feel like it needs to be a conversation right off the bat by any means. I think as you start dating, and if it's one person consistently, you're going to pick up naturally their spending habits, probably how they talk about stuff. I mean, money is such an integral part of life, so it's naturally going to come up in conversation. And again, even just you being aware of how they're handling their money. And so as it gets more serious, though, in a relationship, and okay, this is heading towards marriage, like I'm feeling it, then that's when conversations about life in general, I feel like, get more serious and a little bit more tangible. And that's everything from kids, money, if you have a spiritual walk, right, a faith story, that comes into play. I mean, a lot of these things naturally are going to come up while you're dating, but I think as it gets serious, that's when you start to turn to say, okay, how much are we on the same page? Because I would not advise, nor can, maybe you would, that you like ask for their, tax returns on like the first date. And it's like, all right, tell me everything.
I mean,
how much are you investing in your 401k? Those things are not natural, questions at the beginning of a relationship. Have you had experience, Hannah? I'm just curious of dating and you're thinking though in the back of your mind, you're scared to get into a relationship where you're unsure? What's the reason behind your question?
Well, because I got divorced when I was 21 years old. I just so there's that part of me that I hear about these couples on here that's growing and getting out of debt, and I want to be close to that partner, whoever they are, but I just want to make sure that we are, because, Dave talks about it all the time. Money's, one of the biggest issues.
Yep.
And that's my fear.
Absolutely.
I just want to find that right person.
How old are you now, Hannah?
I'm 25.
Okay. So
awesome.
I'm going to give you the dude perspective, and then I'm going to give you just kind of this financial piece perspective on moving forward. So you don't want to talk about this early on. Okay, you might as if you're going to talk about debt and budgets and what do you think about money on a first date, you might as well take a catalog of your cats with you. I mean, it's just a horrible idea. Don't do it. Here's how a dude thinks about dating, all right? First thing, they want to connect. Second, they got to figure out if they like you. Third, if they like you, then we hope they start to dig you. All right, so that's next level from like. They dig you, they want to spend more time, then they commit, and then finally love. So I'm just breaking this. I just wrote it down. Connect, like, dig. You just made a list,
Hannah. Hannah, you need to know right in front of Ken Coleman.
I got it.
Is his list
I got it. Because, yeah, you need to know this. This is how dudes think. And so when we get to commit, that's 4. So let me review for all the single ladies. Connect. The dude's got to connect with them. Then you got to get him to like you. Then you want him to dig you, and then you want him to commit. When we get to commit, this is level 4. James, I just made up this unbelievable knowledge here on the spot.
You did make
You're such a preacher's kid.
What's that?
Such a preacher's kid.
Well, it's just true. I just laid it out right here. When we get to level 4, commit, then we start talking about, hey, what are your views on money? See how I'm spinning this from a little bit of fun to serious?
I totally hear
now we start going, hey, how did your parents handle money when you grew up? Maybe you buy Rachel Cruz's book. Maybe you do. And you say, I read this book. Know yourself, know your money. And you talk about money and how you see money.
Here's another thought, Hannah. And then we'll let you speak,
I didn't get to finish.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So it's the last piece. If you find out that he's on opposite worlds apart, like he's totally opposite of you on money, now you can start to get nervous and go, hey, here's how I see money. This could be a major divide. And if we see if he's willing to then make some changes. There you go. Go ahead. I was trying to plug your classrooms and all the things.
I saw that.
Because it's wonderful. It actually is a wonderful way to talk about money.
Well, that's what I was going to say is a lot of these conversations could be in your unproven 5-step plan number 3.
Oh, right here. Dig.
That a part of.
Oh, you're moving it up and dig. Okay.
But I'm being honest. As you're in a relationship, and this could be a romantic relationship, this could be even just a friendship. But when you start to really understand people and know them on a deeper level, and what makes them who they are, those conversations is what it's going to make, them dig you / you dig them.
Yeah.
And part of that is, hey, here's like how I see the world, and here's how I view things, and here's like, oh, there's a family over there with kids. Let's judge them and figure out how I would do different, in parenting style. Like understanding someone on a depth level.
Yep.
I would say the way money is handled, the way you view money, how it acts in your life. Yeah. Is possibly in level 3. I'm
okay with that because I just made it up. I'm willing to move her, but I think we don't want to do it in the connect and the like.
Yeah, so
stage.
Hannah, that's your answer.
So
sorry, that was a very
dating,
long.
No, it was wonderful.
That was a circle, but
I don't know that anybody's ever gotten that depth of advice on dating and money talk at the same time. That was wonderful.
Yes,
it was really, really good,
Hannah. But I think it's awesome. And also, Hannah, your question. Sorry, I'm going to keep going because we have 1 more minute. We can't take another caller in 1 minute.
Okay.
Is that it's out of her fear?
Yeah,
that's what she said.
She's terrified. How do I bring it up?
Well, and
she doesn't want to get with a guy.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. And so fear, I don't think is the best motivator in life. I think it's a great motivator at times.
I agree with you.
But let that fear understand why is that your fear, Hannah? Is it because you want to feel provided? You want to feel connected? Like understanding that why the fear drives you. Yeah. That's going to help also to unpack and kind of pinpoint who you want.
That's right.
You can call me Dr. Joan Deloney.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. But let me, you know what else is important, I think, to point out, get your quick perspective. You don't want to go into it feeling like you got to find the guy who agrees with you lockstep on everything.
Sure.
Certainly not money.
Sure.
They may not have any education. They may not have the knowledge that she has. She's been working baby steps since the beginning of the year. She's already at baby step 3. So give folks some grace. Be patient with them. Hey, they might believe in the baby steps, but if they don't know it, don't discount him because he's got credit card debt. There you go. All right. Hey, we're taking your questions about life, money, work, the whole 9 yards. She is Rachel Cruz. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show. back, America. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined in studio by my colleague, my co-host today, Rachel Cruz, and we are taking your phone calls. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Let's go back to the phones. Wausau, I think is how we say that. Wisconsin is where we go, and Ashley is there. Ashley, how can we help?
Hi. My husband and I are both 23. We're on baby step 3, and I make $40,000 a year working as a subcontractor for the Postal Service. And then my husband has a couple different jobs, and he makes about $20,000 a year. And I'm just wondering, I did a farm apprenticeship a couple years ago, and my family has a farm, and I really want to be doing that with my life. And I don't hate the job I have now, but it gets very monotonous. I don't know how to justify taking a pay cut to do what I want to do.
Okay, so tell me how big of a pay cut it would be. You're making $40K now. What would you make if you went to work for something you've identified, I think, prior to this call, on a farm?
Well, I do work for my parents. I do kind of subcontractor stuff for them. So I raise cattle and chickens for them every year, and I make about $8,000 right now on the side. And it can be expanded some. I just don't know how much. And I make $180 a day flat rate doing the Postal Service work. So I just feel guilty every time I take more time to invest in the farm, because I know I can be making, $180 if I was just at work, and I can make so much more being there, even though it's not what I want to do.
Sure. Well, first of all, you don't need to feel guilty. You're not doing anything wrong. Okay, it'd be one thing if you were being paid a salary and you were stay at home watching soap operas. I might be fine with some guilt about that, but you're not doing anything wrong here. So let's remove the guilt. I got a couple things to unpack here. So the $8,000 you're making for your mom and dad on the farm, if I heard that correctly, is that included in your $40,000 total?
No, it's not. The $40,000 is from the Postal Service.
Okay, good. So you're making $48,000. Okay, and so
I'm making.
Okay, great. Why is your husband only making $20,000? If I heard you correctly, you broke up some, with 2 jobs. What's he doing?
He works for a tree service in the summer that he makes about $11,000 at, but it's seasonal. We have a lot of snow here in the winter, so they can't do work from November till April. And then we just are opening a butcher shop on farm this fall, and so he's starting that, but it's starting out slow, so we're trying not to go into debt for it, and so it's not. We don't have a bunch of employees or anything, so he's not making as much yet.
How long before you're through baby step 3, and how much do you have to save to get there?
I'm hoping to save about $7,500 more, and we should be done by about January.
Okay, so couple things here. I'm assuming your hubs is on board with you and your passion to work on a farm, correct? The family farm or any farm, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think you have to answer this question, and you can't answer it right now, I don't think, because you haven't done the research. The only context you have is you're making $8,000 working for your mom and dad, and I think that's awesome. But you need to go do some homework in your area and go, okay, what job positions are out there? They don't even have to be open. We just want to do research that will pay $40,000. Let's just start there. Okay, 40. Let's call it 40 to 50, since you're really at 48. So let's look at what jobs in our area on farms pay $40,000 to $50,000. We got to get really knowledgeable on that so we know what the target is, because that becomes a target. Now, again, they may not be open, but that's okay, because now we have a target. So that's your first homework assignment. I want you to be able to see what's possible. Secondly, I think this is a steak dinner with hubs. And you say you called in the show, and this guy named Ken, he probably doesn't know who I am, and he doesn't care, and I don't care either, because I could be the bad guy here. And I think you just say, look, he thinks that we've got to step our game up in totality, and so maybe the butcher shop, maybe not the best time to do that. Or if we're going to do the butcher shop and go for it, yes, we're going to cash flow it, but it is a true side hustle. So maybe it becomes like your farm job for mom and dad right now, and he's no longer doing the seasonal tree job. He's going out there and he's getting himself a job making anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 an hour. And Ashley, I know this is possible because we are in the hottest job economy in the history of the United States. And you just go down there and do the math with him on a calculator what $15 an hour pays. And if he can increase his income and we treat the butcher shop as a side hustle, so any money coming out of that is gravy, and you transition into the farm work, I think that's the path. Rachel, any thoughts on that? I think that's a marital discussion and go, we collectively have got to work on the dream together. And I'd like to see her move from the postal office pretty soon into a farm job.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ashley, too, I'm like, from the numbers perspective, understanding, okay, what level of lifestyle are we wanting or okay living at? Because there is a choice there, right? That you can work 40 hours a week. He could go do exactly what Ken said. And you guys... who knows? You could be making $100,000 a year.
Could double. He could be making $40,000.
Yeah.
Right
So
now.
I'm like, and if you, stuck it out and you guys did something on the side, the butcher thing took off. I mean, like, there's a level where you're like, yeah, you can make $100,000 a year, which is awesome. But if that takes away and that's not what you value, you would be okay at 60 yep. doing something you love. It's those kind of conversations. It doesn't always have to be this or that.
Nope.
Ideally, you're doing what you love and you guys are just killing it financially. You're able to win and change your family tree and be generous and all of that. But sometimes it is that question of, okay, do I take the pay cut to do something I love? And is the lifestyle change going to be okay? And it's worth it, right? So Ashley, I remember we had some friends, 2 lawyers, worked their butts off and made a lot of money. Yeah. But they, kids were in daycare. I mean, it was 50-hour-a-week job for each of them, but they made a lot of money, and for them, it was like, yeah, we're making this money, so now we're able to do amazing stuff with our kids. They took 2 weeks off every summer and traveled. They were able to do things, and that's what they valued. I also had friends, and he was a teacher, she was a stay-at-home mom.
That's right.
They made, they lived with 4 kids, and they're tight budget, but they were like, we would rather sacrifice lifestyle to do what he loves and to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Ken, is that congruent with what you teach?
No, I think you're spot on, Ashley. And so that's really one answer to your first question. I want you to see what's out there. I think there's probably better options than you think out there. I don't want you to assume you're going to take a pay cut to go do what you love.
That's a great point.
But Rachel is also making a very good point that, hey, let's say that you find a great job on a farm that pays you $32. Then you adjust your lifestyle. And again, Hubs wants to do the butcher shop. That's clearly a passion play. Is that right? That's his dream to have the butcher shop?
Yeah, and we have it built now, so it's just a matter of starting.
But here's the deal on that. It's okay for that to grow slow. All right. Mm-hmm. So if he's got a day job for a year or two while the dream job is growing on the side, that's fine. So I think you guys are in great position. I want you to walk out of here going, I don't necessarily have to take a big pay cut. Let's find out what's out there. And then Rachel's right. If you guys make an adjustment and your collective income doubles, which I think it can for a season until Hubs gets the butcher shop going, then you guys are in fantastic position. Awesome. Before you know it, you're out of baby step 3, you're saving in baby step 4 15%, and now we're able to invest for baby step 5 when the kid, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And before you know it, you're living the dream. And by the way, this is why I wrote the book From Paycheck to Purpose. Rachel, you can make income, the income you want, and the impact that you want. And that's where she'll be.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
And they're 23.
23.
So this is an amazing questions you're asking, Ashley, because if you guys can nail this and at least be on the path, the answer doesn't have to be next month. It doesn't have to be in the next 2 months, but you guys are working towards a full life from lifestyle, career, financial, all of that is congruent together. This young, it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
That can happen.
It's really fun. And I love it. I love to hear that story. Both of them having their dream.
Yeah.
And by the way, very congruent.
Yes.
She wants to be around livestock and agriculture. He wants to run a butcher shop. That's really cool.
Send us the info of the butcher shop. We're thinking about going in for a cow,
You are?
Yeah. Wednesday I've been talking about it.
Dairy cow?
Yeah, but for all the meat.
Well, yeah, it's a dairy cow.
Is
so
that
dairy cow's not
Ken,
for
I don't
meat.
know. Ashley, we need to have a phone call and teach me all the things.
We've got Ashley on hold. Let's keep her on hold so she can give Rachel an agricultural lesson during the commercial break. Oh, my goodness.
Ashley,
bless your heart.
Great work, Ashley.
Hey, well, so I want a couple steaks out of that cow.
I know.
Yeah,
Let us know, Ashley. Give us a price point.
James, I'm what they call a city slicker, and even I know that a dairy cow doesn't give you meat. I'm just going to leave that there.
Sharon Ramsey would be so disappointed in me right now.
Oh, my gosh. That's why we love her. She's Rachel Cruz. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show. This is the Ramsey Show. We're thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Rachel Cruz, and we're taking your calls this hour, 888-825-5225. Your money calls, your life calls, work, getting that bigger shovel, doing work you love, and crossing over into something where you make income and impact. We even took a call about how to date and move through the baby steps. So, I mean, we're just taking your life calls. So we love it.
And I'm a rancher, apparently.
You are.
I know a lot about farming.
Yeah,
so.
It's very exciting. Very exciting. Rachel Cruz buys a cow. That's coming to her YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that in the days ahead. But now we go to Amy, who joins us in Denver, Colorado. Amy, how can we help?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I'm looking, I think, for some outside guidance. First, I have to say I'm blessed for the life I have. I'm grateful. I'm restless, though, and I'm discontented with it. And I think my question is ultimately, how do I advocate for myself or sell myself or get a seat at the table? 3 years ago, I left a private sector job, managing people, managing operations, six-figure job, lots of hours, pretty miserable. I just had an opportunity to leave it, and I know I needed to be part of community. That's the only thing I could come up with. I want to be more involved with community. I took a job, cut my salary in half, and I took a job, and it's great. I love working 40 hours. It's really nice. But I'm not stimulated. I'm not challenged. It's nothing out of it, and I kind of conceded, okay, if I want to get back into challenging, that means I'd have to manage people, which I'm not quite sure I'm the right person for. I've taken all kinds of steps to, professionally network and do presentations and do stuff outside of my comfort zone, and I'm in a different sector. And so I'm, obviously I'm young in the sector, and I'm looked at as pretty much zero experience in the nonprofit.
Amy, so are you telling me you have no idea, you have no direction? There's not something that you'd want to try professionally if lack of experience, lack of connections, lack of fear, lack of doubt, if I could just wipe it away? You're telling me you have no idea, you haven't wondered about a type of work?
Oh, no, I have.
That's what I want to hear. I want to hear, what would you do tomorrow? This is a simple question, and I need you to suspend your brain here. This is a heart-only answer. What would you try tomorrow? You don't have to commit the rest of your work life to it, but you'd try it if you knew you couldn't fail. What work would you do?
It's a motivational thing. Coaching.
Coaching who? You know the answer. Don't even. Hey, I saw what just happened. By the way, I do this every day on the Ken Coleman Show, so now you're trapped. All right, and this is a good thing. You know the answer. Who do you want to coach?
It's women, and I laugh because it's just in the last 5 years, women have become a part of my life, and I've always been around men, so it's just funny.
Okay, so I understand you want to coach women, but what challenge do they have that you want to help them solve?
To overcome obstacles that they can't do it.
Can't do what?
There's different things. Like I've done some physical fitness type stuff, and I've seen women come in. It's their first time, and they're not making it through, and I run next to them and do push-ups with them. I just took a bunch of ladies out on a mud run who's never done it before. I've consulted with fundraisers who don't know how to fundraise, and I'm not a fundraiser, right?
Right. You know what you are? Amy, you personally are a go-getter, and I think if we were to just pick one word, and I don't want you to, after this phone call, lock into this word and make it your personal brand, but I want you to just open your mind to this. But I think you are a coach. And when you say you want to coach, it's because I think you are a coach. Like, I think that's just who you are. You kind of just bounce into people, and when you see them down or a little bit different, and they're not where they're supposed to be, you can see they don't have their spark, and you want to figure out why and then help them get their spark. Is that a fair, close analysis?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. For today, let's just say you want to be a performance coach. I think you've got to do some research on this, and we got to figure out how we transition. I think that's the biggest, scariest part. But you could be a life coach. I don't really care what you label it, but I think you got to look at where am I going to specialize? Where am I going to specialize? Now, you may offer a suite of things. Maybe you offer some financial coaching and some nutritional exercise fitness coaching. Maybe it's more in the career space. I don't know, but that's your homework assignment. You got to go, okay, what are the biggest, or what's the list of challenges, your word, obstacles that women face that you get the most juice when you think about helping those women climb that obstacle? Therein lies your answer. Now, we've got this day job, and so we've got to look at the financial piece, how we make the transition. So once you know what you want to do, you ask this. In fact, I'm going to give you 4 qualifying questions. You got something to write with?
I'm ready.
Great. First thing is once we figure out the type of coaching we want to do, we have to ask, what do I need to learn? Okay, this is the education question. Does not mean a 4-year degree necessarily. In fact, in this case, it's not. It's some certification is what we're looking at. So that's the education question. What do I need to learn? Second question is, what do I need to do? What's the experience question? What experience am I going to need to do to get to where I start getting some people, some women in, and I coach them? Leads to the third question. What's that going to cost me? Okay. That's the financial question. What's it going to cost to get qualified? How am I going to have to sacrifice some of my work time? That's what we're looking for. What's the financial cost? That's the economic question. And the fourth one is the expectation question. How long is this going to take? Now, when you get the answers to those 4 questions, Amy, guess what you've got? A plan. And you're going to walk into it. You're not going to jump. You're not going to leap. And you're not going to put your day job at risk. So this is, again, most likely a side hustle, unless in Denver, fairly good-sized metropolitan area, unless there's some type of position like this at a corporation that wants a performance coach and you can help women there. You just got to look everywhere. But this is the direction you got to look. And I think if you do it, you're going to find it.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes, thank you.
You bet. Thanks for the call. It's interesting, Rachel, when I get these calls, of course, every day on the Ken Coleman Show, but when someone tells me, I just don't know, I've never had somebody, when you dig and you push, they go, they don't know. What they really mean is, I'm not sure. Yeah. And there's a difference between, I don't know what I want to do, or I have no idea, I'm completely clueless, Ken, and I don't know how to get there. The first one's not true. The second one, it's very understandable. How do I get there? There's Absolutely. Fear, there's doubt. But this is a woman who's been very successful, made really good money, 6 figures, and just walked away because she was in a leadership position, and I admire her. She went, I don't want to lead people.
Yeah.
Probably drains her.
That and working 80 hours a week, too.
Well,
She's
that.
Like, man, I want a different, I want a different scope of life.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing. I'm like, and more of this, I could be wrong. Maybe it's just my stage of life. But Amy, what she describes, though, of people going out, wanting to do something that fulfills them, but even in that space of just helping people, like I see that more and more and more, and more people are willing to pay someone to help them with that, where I feel like maybe 30, 40 years ago, it was like, well, just pull your,
I think you're absolutely right.
Just
coaching has
exploded. Push through. But the coaching aspect is beautiful because I think people are willing to learn, and they're asking questions, and they want help. And when Amy, someone like her, has the answers and some of this experience that she's learned, she's like, I can plug in, like I can help. And that's where I think the beauty is in what you do too, Ken, is helping people find that. Like, what does that look like to be able to help people, and you're motivated in it, and you're killing it financially.
What's that
like
unique role? All of us have it, whether it's a public role or a private role, whether it's, I just like fixing machines, and you're in your happy place when you're left alone to work and fix a problem that's connected to an engine or whatever. And then there's the person who wants to create art, you know what I mean? And they're kind of off in their own world, and they're creating, or writers, or engineers, or teachers. What it comes down to, again, is what you heard from Amy was she's encountered some women. There's been some personal experiences that have driven this purpose. Yeah. She's kind of going, I've always had direction, and I don't like when I see my sisters out here who don't have direction. Or don't think they can do it. Or don't think they can do it. Yes, you can. And she's the coach. Yeah, she's just the general coach. So really good stuff. Amy, you're very inspiring. Thank you so much for calling us. You're going to do great things to help women in the Denver area. So go with everything you got. Hey, I want to thank my colleague, Rachel Cruz. Always fun. I want to thank our producer, James Childs, our associate producer and call screener, Jenna Sears, but mostly you, America. This is your show. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your money, your relationships. We'll talk about your work and purpose. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Rachel Cruz. We are here for you this hour. It is a free phone call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Let's get it started this hour in Austin, Texas, where Robbie joins us. Robbie, how can we help?
Hello. Thanks for taking my call. I just want to give you a quick question. We are on baby step 2. We have our starter emergency fund saved. I'm trying to figure out whether I should finish school or pay off all of our debt and our student loans. Our gross income is about $80,000 a year, and we have $99,000 in debt. Without any raises, I've estimated it to be paid off in like 3.9 years. But I'm trying to get a better idea of what I should do, just because, I've seen the debt-free screens, and that's really what I want more than I want, the degree.
Right. How much do you have left in your degree?
I've got 2.5 years, but the thing about it is I've got about $50,000 in student loans, and I'm estimating at least another $30,000 to $40,000 in student loans
to finish.
To finish. Yeah.
Okay, so.
And what's the degree in, Robbie? Are you doing it to advance in career?
It would be a bachelor's of science in psychology.
What are you doing now for work?
Right now, I'm a phlebotomist at a blood bank here in Austin, Texas.
What did you go for the degree for? Did you want to move into that field?
I'd like to move into psychology as a counselor, but then also I'm going to need a master's, which is, even more money for school.
Yeah. Couple things. Have you done your homework on other schools where you can get the degree to see if you can save just on tuition?
I've looked into 2 different schools, one in Arizona and the other one was Southern New Hampshire. And I think there's maybe a difference of $3,000, $4,000 per semester.
Yeah, it's an expensive degree. Okay, so is your wife working as well?
Yes, we both work.
What's your combined income?
Combined income, our gross is just over $80,000.
Okay, so that was the $80,000 number, and you got 3.9 years if we stay at the $80,000.
To pay off just over $99,000.
Yeah, because you've got 2 years left on this program, and because you can't cash flow your way through it, I'm pressing pause, because counseling is still going to be there. The dream job is still going to be there. And that's what you got to hold on to. And I love that you led with the question, because I think you've been considering that. Is that the way you were leaning before the call?
Yeah. I was leaning into hopefully paying this off, because I just think it's just going to be so freeing to not have that and get a degree.
Yep.
How old are you, Robbie?
I am 38.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of dynamics there that I think are important, because I think pressing pause is the wisest thing right now, and paying off this debt, because what can happen even in 4 years to even just the education market, and what can open up of how to, in those classes, hopefully they don't expire, or you're able to still have those credits because you've taken those courses, is possibly options to plug in somewhere else, like Ken was saying, in 4 years. But also, Robbie, that in 4 years with no debts, and then going to school on the side while working, and then you're going to want to launch into this, maybe be part of a counseling practice, start your own, whatever that looks like. It's almost like launching into this new thing. And when you launch into a new thing with no risk AKA having no debts that you're having to pay. It gives that transition even more peace of being able to do it. Now, with the caveat that if you can find something to go cheaper, like Ken was saying, and you're looking and there's ways to go on the side and get that while you're still making the $80,000 and you're still able to pay it off, in that 4 years, if you're able to do both still simultaneously, that could be an option, because I understand the feeling of, if you feel drawn and called to something, I hate that money becomes the blocker. But in this case, it has a little bit, Robbie, because of the financial hole that you guys are in with this almost $100K.
What is if $50,000 is student loans, what's the other 40?
Oh, we're normal. We got a little bit of everything: cars, credit cards, loans. Yeah.
Okay. What are your cars worth, and what do you owe on them?
I think we're negative on those. I think one car we owe 19 and the other one 15.
Yeah, well, let me tell you this. You can make up ground really quick if you're willing to drive something really, really cheap. And I've got a 15-year-old boy who's going to be 16 in November. So, Rachel, I've been all over used car sites.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how decent of a car you can get for $5,000.
I was going to say, you could get $25,000, Robbie, just by selling the cars and buying $5,000 ones.
Hustling to get those cars right side up, right? And then selling them and driving something really, really cheap. You're going to make up a lot of ground. That's a tremendous amount of money.
And I'm going to challenge the 4 years. Even just hearing you talk, I'm like, you guys, like you said, you've been normal. And this is not to shame you, but you guys got to stop. Like, you kind of have to get to a point where you say, we're done. We're done, and we're cutting everything out of our lives. We're cutting the expenses, all this stuff we've just been floating through, buying the cars we want, charging stuff on credit cards. Like it's got to tighten up so much, and your life is going to drastically look different. And I think if you guys commit to this change wholeheartedly with the idea of getting a degree in psychology to be a counselor as a motivator, I bet you guys can do this way less than 4 years.
Yeah.
I think you can.
Amen.
I think you guys have just been kind of moseying around, which, again, that's not to shame you. That is normal, like you said. But man, if you guys went extreme and you did that, you sold the cars. I mean, that's $25,000 extra with two 5,000 cars sitting, paid for cars sitting in the driveway. Right. I mean, if you do some stuff to really shake up what you guys have been doing, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be easy. But you guys, I'm like, you can clean this up, and by 43 years old, you could be living a totally different life in a different career in a different place financially.
Yeah, Robbie, you've got two big motivators right now. Rachel's right. This is like we're going nuclear here. We're pressing the red emergency button, and it's all in on everything, cutting your expenses drastically, selling everything, working an extra job, because you're going to pause for right now, maybe 6 months on the school. And I agree with Rachel. I think if you get a lot of stuff paid off quickly, you could cash flow a class here and there while still going through the debt snowball. Right. You have that ability. But I want you to think about two things here. One, being debt-free, and two, having a debt-free practice. Not just debt-free personally, but then today I'm going to counsel people. I'm going to love on the people that I have a heart for. And the reason you got into counseling, you know what it is, but you better keep that really close, because the next couple years are going to be intense and they're going to be really hard. But you think about the people that you want to sit knee to knee with, eyeball to eyeball, and help them with breakthrough in their life. That's your why, and it's worth it, but it's going to be hard. But the degree, it'll be there. And so will the dream job. Thank you, Robbie, for the call. You got this. But today's the day. You got to get serious. You got to make the change. And it's always worth it. All right, folks, don't move. More Ramsey Show coming up right around the corner.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess? With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Welcome back, America. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Rachel Cruz. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. So, question for you folks. How many times in the past year have you heard someone say, I just wish things would get back to normal? But what was normal like for you? Were you worried about money? Was that your normal? Well, you shouldn't have to go back to that, and there's so much better ahead for you. But to get the life you want, you got to have a game plan. So join us for Game Plan Live. This is our free live stream on September the 28th. Dave Ramsey, Christy Wright, and George Campbell will be laying out the clear plan to make all of your money goals happen. You can have the abundant, balanced, debt-free life you want, and it all starts at Game Plan Live. If you want to register for this live stream, text Game Plan to 33789. That's Game Plan, all one word. Text Game Plan to 33789. All right, let's go to Binghamton, New York. Domenico is there. Domenico, how can we help?
Hey, my fiance turned me to you guys just this week on my 23rd birthday.
Wow. Happy birthday.
Yeah, what a present that was.
What a present. Check out these crazy people on this podcast.
You don't sound terribly excited about it either.
Do you hate us? You can be honest.
No, I've actually been listening to you guys very religiously all week. I've been listening to you guys at work, everything. I just bought Dave's book yesterday, Total Money Makeover, and I've been reading it every night.
Amazing.
But my fiance and I were talking last night because we were going over our bills for the rest of the month, and she told me to call in and get your guys' opinion because we can't figure out what to do. My car, I have a car payment, sadly, and my loan is like $15,762, and I pay $283.25 a month, but it's only Kelly Blue Book valued at $7,972.
Yeah.
So we were trying to figure out would it be better just for me to get rid of the car or keep it or what to do because we're getting behind on bills and everything, and we're just trying to get stuff figured out because we moved into our first apartment together just back in June.
Okay. How much do you make a year?
I want to say roughly maybe about $40,000.
40. Okay. And what other debt do you have besides the car? Just you, not your fiance. Just you.
My credit cards, which I got a credit card for my car to fix it, which that's that I've used just for an oil change. I got a car through Walmart, and I got a
how much total do you think is in credit card debt?
About $1,000.
About $1,000. Okay, and that's all you have? No student loans?
Yeah.
And
no student loans.
Awesome. Okay. So I think for you, I mean, kind of our rule of thumb is if you can't pay off the car in 18 months, it needs to go 12 to 18 months. So if you don't think you can pay it off in a year, that you can just, working an extra job, selling stuff, doing whatever you can to throw money at this car payment. Well, first the credit card. I want you to get rid of that $1,000 credit card. Cut up the credit cards when we get off the phone if you haven't already. Like, get rid of those. Get $1,000 saved up, $1,000 to your car. So you have about $2,000 to get this ball rolling, to get your emergency fund, and then to start attacking this car. So if you can't pay it off in 12 to 18 months, then my advice would be to sell it, and you'll have to take a loan for the difference because you won't be able to get as much. You're not able to sell the car and then make some money off of it, obviously, because it's gone down in value so much. But to take that loan, which will be obviously less than that. I mean, you'll have $8,000 left on that car loan, and that's what you could attack instead of the $15,000 if that's what you choose, unless you just decide to buckle down and attack the car payments and the car loan in the next year.
How much are you making, Domenico?
40.
I make $16 an hour, but my yearly income is like around $40,000.
Right. And what is that job? What are you doing?
I work at a fabrication shop.
Yeah.
Based out of Canada.
Where would you go to make extra money? If you wanted to make, if you really went hard, you don't have kids, yes or no?
No kids.
So it's just you two, and this is your debt, not, the two of you's debt. So what would you do? Could you pick up some more fabricating work, around cars and stuff, make some really nice money per hour if you added another 15 to 30 hours a week?
Yeah, I've already got a second job lined up. I'm going to be working Friday, Saturday nights at a haunted attraction for the Halloween season.
How much is that going to pay you?
About $250 a weekend, because I'm only working 2 days a weekend.
Yeah, well, good for you, but I would really look at your other options. Can you pick up some extra work, messing around on cars or whatever, just to maximize your income right now? Because you could knock this stuff out easily in 9 months, 12 months if you really just worked like a maniac. This is not that much money.
Yeah, I've been putting applications out for second jobs anywhere. I've been putting applications at gas stations and all.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Domenico, listen, man, you're worth way more than that. Don't put applications in to a gas station. You're a skilled tradesman. Think about how many people you know in the car game. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I missing something?
I'm completely not looking at the bigger picture.
But listen,
now that you're saying it, I'm not looking at it. Right?
No, you're not, dude. You're a skilled tradesman. I'd be looking for that kind of work where you can be making $18 an hour, $25 an hour, where the time is really paying off. Not standing there holding a rope and letting a bunch of idiot teenagers walk through a haunted house. It's just not good use of your time. We got to get serious. You have a real skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
Do you agree with me? I'm okay to be wrong.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just speechless because I've never really thought about it like that. I've always grown up with you get what you can get and don't throw a fit. But now that you're saying it, now it's like.
Well, I actually agree with that. I agree.
Myself in that.
But listen, get what you can get. And the haunted house ain't get what you can get. That's just get whatever's there. Yeah. Go out there and get some skilled trades work that you're already qualified for, and you've got all kinds of connections. You're in that game already. You're a fabricator. That is a premium physical trade, man. We're talking about, can I make $500, $700 over a weekend? Let's set our sights a little bit bigger. Let's get a third job because, again, we're looking at $16,760 that you've got to pay off. And I know you're brand new to this, and I'm so glad you called, but I'm going to tell you something, man. If you start seeing yourself as a money-making machine, you'll go out and do that, and we won't settle for the haunted house thing. So here's a little challenge, Domenico. I want you to go find some other work and then call the haunted house people up and say, hey, I'm sorry. I got something better.
You got a few weeks, haunted house people, to fill my spot because I'm about to make 3 times of what I was going to make. I love that, Ken. Well done.
Deuces.
Well done.
I'm out of here. I'm not doing that.
But to give people the... and again, not that working at a haunted house or gas station.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that. But the fact that you have the skill and to be able to value yourself even more in the marketplace. And again, you've been in this for 4 days, right? Just this week. So there is a level of all this that you're learning so much. So I just want to applaud you on that of just learning and saying, hey, what I'm doing, I want to do something different. And now you're starting to grow in that. Your mind is being expanded. And so this challenge Ken has given you is wonderful. So well done, Ken. I love hearing that and hearing you, Domenico, be like, man, okay, I can do this because you can.
Yes.
You can do this.
Domenico, this is for your future bride, your babies. You got the chance to wipe this debt absolutely free in 9 months, 12 months at the most, and your future is the best that you could possibly imagine. The best is yet to be, young man. Get after it. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back, America. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Rachel Cruz, and we're taking you through this hour, taking your money calls, your life calls, calls about your work and purpose, relationships and money, the whole 9 yards. 888-825-5225 is the number to jump in. 888-825-5225. You need to find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Rules and restrictions apply.
Today's
question is from Brandon from Illinois. He says, I'm 32 years old with a BS in computer science and psychology. I have been a software developer for the last year and realized recently that I hate it. I applied to a doctorate program in clinical psychology and got accepted. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to pursue my dream career, but I'm terrified by the perspective of debt to income ratio I'm facing when I graduate. I currently have $31,000 in my undergrad degree in addition to the debt I'll take on for the program. I don't want to wait until I'm 50 to start my life because paying off debt. What should I do? All right, Brandon, let's turn down the drama queen knob just a tad bit.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait till you're 50.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. But listen, Brandon, I mean, you should be terrified from the debt to income ratio because you got $31,000, and if you go into debt for a psychology degree, and then you're gonna have to get a master's in counseling. We just took a call similar to this in the last segment. I mean, yeah, you're looking at could be $100,000 in the hole by the time you're all said and done. So Brandon, if I were you, listen, software developer, it's not your dream job. You hate it. But listen, right now in this world, that can make some serious money. So if I were you, if you even have to get one or two other, licenses or what do they call them? Certifications in that genre just to up your income just a little bit more for maybe 2 to 3 years. It's not going to be forever. Maybe till you're 35 and get the debt cleaned up, get some money saved, and then find a program that you can work through to get your master's where you can cash flow it. That's the goal, right? Because yes, while your dream is to, get a doctorate in clinical psychology and to be able to do these things, it can easily turn into a nightmare if you're not making money in it because it's a new career path for you, and you have all of this other debt that you're in the hole for. So you're going to have way more control, way more peace of mind, and wisdom comes into play for this. Yes, this feels good to jump in and just pursue the dream. Mm-hmm. And I want you to chime in on this, Ken, because you talk about this all the time, but there's a wise path to do this where this setup doesn't become a curse to you, but it really becomes a blessing.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right about the drama queen stuff, and I think ultimately Brandon has to realize that this is a false narrative, that you have to go into debt to achieve the dream. It's just simply false. This is insane intensity, but if I was a 32-year-old software developer, I'd be looking for as much work as I could do, contract work, and it's out there. And developers make really good money. And I would, if you looked at $2,500 a month, if you put $2,500 a month towards that debt, that's just over a year. You're knocking that out. Okay, now that same intensity to knock out the $31,000 undergrad debt gets applied to cash flowing your way through the doctorate program. Congratulations on getting accepted. Good news. You'll be accepted, and it'll be waiting on you. And if they won't wait on you, someone else will take you.
That's right.
And I can tell you this. I'd love for you to get real honest about your why. Why are you going into clinical psychology? What's the doctorate for? And I got to tell you, a very unhealthy, stressed out because of debt clinician is not going to do as good a work as a debt-free, very healthy clinician is going to do. And you're in the business helping people get whole and healthy. My goodness. How can you do that to the degree that you were created to do it if you're slam stressed over this? So you've created a false narrative. You can do it, but I'm going to tell you what's going to take. Incredible intensity and some patience. But here's the good news. Both of those are free. Those don't cost you anything except for serious commitment and conviction. So, hey, thank you for the question. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Modesto, California. John joins us there. John, how can we help?
Hi, Ken. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for everything you guys do. I appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate you. What's up today?
Hey, so my wife and I, we own a small business, and we are halfway through our baby step 2 process, currently on hold because we have a baby coming at the end of this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, my third kid, first son. So very excited.
Well, the good news is that I can speak to this, and so can Rachel. We both have 3. All right. Once you go from 2 to 3, I got to tell you, you've already got this thing down. So it's not going to be that stressful.
I don't believe that.
I promise.
Don't trust him. No.
Yeah,
2 to 3 is harder, but it's the boy, which is so fun. That's what we had, John. 2 girls and a boy.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
That's very
Sweet.
nice.
Okay. So, but you're on baby. So you'll pause baby step 2 because pregnancy, which is great. Perfect. Piling up cash.
Mm-hmm. The question is so we have already paid off about $30,000. We have about 30 more, a little over 30 more. And when we pause. But my wife has always been a little concerned at how much I wanted to pay at one time. And then I accidentally proved her right because a couple of months ago, right before we paused, we came into about $4,000 in vehicle repairs all at the same time with a couple of vehicles we have for the business. So we actually ended up using up, the emergency fund plus had to take some cash flow out of the business. So my question is how much running a small business while doing baby step 2, how much money should I keep around and not just, so that the business isn't vulnerable while we're trying to pay off this debt?
Yeah, well, I think, John, for you guys, separating the business is over here, personal is over here. And so it really is looking right. So in a personal standpoint, we talk about that $1,000 emergency fund, and then everything goes. But when you're running a business, you got expense. Do you guys have employees? Do you have team members?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are responsible for a lot on that end, right? And running a business. And so I think having 2 to 3 months worth of savings in the business side for business expenses specifically is a great plan to have. Because if you got no savings in that and stuff starts happening in the business, you gotta pull money from somewhere. So having that safety net in the business side is very, very important. How much do you guys make a year?
Right now we've been taking home. Yeah, right now we've been taking home about 85. I plan on pulling that back until after we're done with the debt. I want to pull it back a little bit so that we can accomplish some goals as far as growth goes for the business.
Yep, absolutely.
Just take less personally, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, right now while we were trying to pay off, that's what we're doing.
Okay, that's great. And so you guys can knock out the 30 grand, rather quickly, making 85.
No question.
Yeah, I'd like to have it done by summertime of next year. Okay. Then I'll call you guys again.
Yeah,
there you go.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, I like that. Well, John, you got this. Thank you so much for the call. I love. We've got this theme going on. We got some young people that are they're just on the cusp of total breakthrough.
Yeah.
And they've got a plan. John and his wife, they got a plan. Small business, that's the dream. The baby coming in, the baby boy. I mean, it's really exciting to hear that, and I love how you stipulated when you are a sole proprietor or whatever, and so your business is your sole income, you still got to separate.
Yes.
That's really important, and that gets confusing for a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah. What's the big danger there?
Keeping it separate. Oh, is that you depend on that? I mean, it's kind of basic accounting. When the finances start getting muddled, you don't know what's going in, what's going out on what side, right? So keeping it very clean is very important.
Yeah, just because you run it all doesn't mean that it needs to be all one account and all one philosophy. So really good stuff. Thank you so much for the call, John. All right, don't move. We'll be back before you know it. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, and I'm joined in studio by my colleague, Rachel Cruz, and we are thrilled to have you with us. It is your show, America. It is a conversation about you, your future, your financial future, your professional future, your relationship future. We're talking about you. We want to give you hope for a brighter future through clear steps forward. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Let's go to Columbus, Ohio next. Patricia is there. Patricia, how can we help?
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call, guys. I appreciate what you do.
Thank you. What's up?
I have a question. So my mom, when the grandkids were born, she made it a point to gift them a life insurance policy, and she paid for it. The agreement was she would pay for it for the first 18 years. And so she has purchased for my children a whole life $50,000 policy, and she's been paying on it for the past 18 years. My son will be 18 now, so it's going to be our choice to either take it over. It will be mature in 2023, so it's a 30-year policy. We can either take it over, continue paying that premium, or there's a cash value to it, which we could cash that out. We got a late start. We are on baby steps 5, 6, 7 currently. We did get a late start on saving for my son's college. So we're torn if we should cash this out and invest it, or continue paying for this policy for him, and he'll have a fully mature $50,000 life insurance policy, and he may never have to, buy insurance, pay a lot of money for insurance as an adult. So I'm just kind of torn on which route to go.
Yeah, it's a great question. The short answer is cash it out today. Whole life policies, Patricia, are terrible investments. And your son, while the heart of your mom was so good and so helpful, the vehicle at which was probably sold to her is it's a terrible option, because number one, kids don't need life insurance. You only need life insurance when someone is dependent upon your income. And for children, that is usually not the case, unless there's some child actor or something making buku's money. Like, children don't need life insurance. And then they put it in an investment vehicle that makes on average like 3 to 4%, if that, in return. Versus, as an example, a good growth stock mutual fund on average will be anywhere from 10 to 12%. So there could have been 3 times the amount of money sitting in his account at 18 if they had chosen a different route. So I'm saying all that to say, I just want you to see the math side of why the purpose of having life insurance is unnecessary for him, and the investment that's within that is just horrible. It's horrible. So I would 100% cash this out. I would take the cash, and if you want to use it for college, I think that's a huge gift. That is tremendous. Or if there's a way for him to cash flow school, or there's other money and he's able to take that investment and take it and open up a mutual fund or something for him further in the future, then that's awesome too. So those are 2 options: college or invest in the market. And then I'll say this as well, that there is a stigma that insurance is expensive. And I heard you say, it'll be expensive. But term life insurance for a healthy young person, once he starts a family, once he gets married, has kids and needs life insurance at that point, it is very inexpensive, actually. It's not expensive at all, a term life policy for 20, 30 years. And so he'll be able to still get life insurance at a really inexpensive rate while having an amazing investment on the side through that mutual fund, or an investment in him if he chooses to use it for tuition for college. So does that make sense, all of that? I know I threw a lot at you, because this is there's a lot of layers to this idea, and a lot of parents have this, right? A whole life policy for their kids, and you hear it all the time. We actually have family members that this happened to them. They're like, what do we do? It's 18. I'm like, cash it out. So that's the reason behind that, Patricia.
Okay. And I figured as much. It just is, I didn't want to make a decision. She's been paying on it for so long, and she's fine either way. But
yes.
So my next question, I guess, with the investment, you mentioned more so mutual fund. We would like for him to be able to cash flow college. Not sure that's going to be, 100% doable for him. And like I said, we got a late start, but should we just put that into his 529 and let it go that way, or just have some more aggressive mutual funds separately where he just sits on it for a while?
Yeah, well, if you're going to be using it for tuition, I would just have it where it's liquid, where he can get to it so he can pay semester by semester or year per year. So even if it just sits, some of it just in a money market account, and depending on how much is in the account if you guys cash out today.
It's not much. It's like $3,300.
Okay. So he'll probably use, so he'll be using most of that just for tuition. So yeah, I would not invest it then. If he's going to use it for tuition, put it in a money market account, and it's there for him to help him through college.
Got it.
All right. Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate the call. I mean, here's what happens. This whole life policy, it gets sold as this really smart thing, and it's not very smart as you laid it out with the numbers. It is safe in the sense that, it's just kind of like this little plods along, but it's essentially what you put in it is what you get back. You're just not getting anything out of it.
Yeah. And for everyone to remember, your investments and insurance should never be together, ever. So any product that is selling insurance with investment, it's a bad product. You want them separate because, again, you can invest and make so much more on your return on, again, a very conservative mutual fund. Like, it doesn't have to be anything big and fancy, but you're going to still get 2 to 3 times the amount in that. And then you can buy insurance on the other side really inexpensively. And again, the younger you are, obviously, the less expensive insurance is. The healthier you are, the less expensive it is. But yeah, they force those together and make a terrible product that costs a lot of people. And what's hard too is I hear that. I'm like, man, I've heard that from so many people. And it's like the heart of the person, you know, the grandmother was so good, but you're like, man, he could have had, she said, what, 3,200? I mean, he could have had 12 grand sitting in there.
Oh, he had 32,000.
Oh, 32,000. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So, I mean, but you're right. You talk about the compound interest. If you put that into 529 early on, and it just grows and grows and grows.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable because the cost of college education right now is skyrocketing.
I know.
I mean, it is just extraordinary how quickly it's going up and how expensive it is. Let's see here. Do we have time? Let's go to Lee in Houston, Texas. Lee, how can we help?
Hey, thanks for taking my calls, guys. Hey, I was wondering, should I pay my house off, my mortgage off? My balance is around $300,000. I'm 60 years old. I'm retired. My wife's retired. She just retired a couple of months ago. She's 59. And so I'm thinking that's all the debt we have right now. That's it. We have both have IRAs. I worked 29 years, well, really 32 years for an oil and gas, large oil and gas company. And my wife worked 33 years for the government.
How much do you guys have in retirement?
As of yesterday, $3,060,000.
Hey!
Wow, Lee.
Way to go, Lee. Now, Lee, we only got about a minute and 20 seconds, so I want Rachel to be able to help you on this. Do you have cash set aside from the retirement funds to be able to pay the house off?
No, sir. No, sir. Really, cash, we don't have much at all. We have less than $20,000 in cash.
But you got
we rolled
$3
everything
million.
to Vanguard.
Okay.
And they just handle everything for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they send me about $5,000 a month, and my wife has a $60,000 pension.
Okay.
Okay. And she's 59, and you're how old?
60,
okay. Because you guys quite are not at the age just to cash out the IRAs without a little bit of penalty, if I'm correct. I think it's 62, 65.
I mean, I think question is, can you guys go back to work? Can you go back to work and work a job? And you don't have to, but can you, to be able to put to really attack?
I plan to do that.
Well, there you go.
Yes, I plan to go back to work. But I'm gonna do I'm planning on getting me an enclosed trailer and doing handyman work.
All right, well, listen, you can do this. Don't touch that retirement fund. Don't touch it.
Keep doing what you guys are doing.
Attack
the house on the side, then once you're at the age, you're able to cash everything out. You got $3.5 million. I think you said $3 million.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine, Lee.
It's great, Lee. Congratulations, Everyday Millionaire.
Hey, I want to thank Rachel Cruz, our producer James Childs, our associate producer Jenna Sears, and you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show, and it's where America is hanging out to have a conversation about your life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz. We're here together today to take your calls. 888-825-5225. Of course, we're going to take your money calls. How about your work? Are you in a work that's just okay, or do you feel stuck? You need a bigger shovel to get out of the baby steps a little bit faster and just move on up? Do you long to do something that matters to you, work where you can make the income you desire and the impact? We'll take those calls as well. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Let's go to San Antonio, Texas. Erica joins us there. Erica, how can we help?
Hi, thank you guys so much for taking my call. Okay, so I am 25 years old, and I just got my realtor's license. I haven't worked since last year, like full-time or anything. I graphic design and illustrate on the side, and that brings in maybe $250 a month if I can get a commission. But anyway, I guess I'm just wondering, should I just get a part-time job? I don't want to focus all my time on working a 9 to 5, and I want to build my real estate career. But I also I have bills, and I'm not making it.
Oh, my goodness, no. How far behind are you right now? Let's just talk about the fact that you're making $250 a month. That's it? Have you been on unemployment insurance?
I'm not on unemployment. I receive child support for my daughter, and I get the child tax credit that we're getting, and that's how I've been kind of scraping together for my bills. And I was nannying part-time, but that was giving me maybe $200 a week at the time. Okay, so this is not a simple answer or a simple fix for you, given your realities. Here's what I know from really good friends that are successful realtors. Plus, I'm friends with one of the leading real estate trainers in the world. And at some point, you're going to have to go all in on this, right? To make the money that you want to make, that you need to make, at some point you're going to have to go all in on real estate. You can't do it part-time and really max out. Exactly. And you know that. But we've got this financial problem too. So we've got to stop the bleeding and then transition. So the good news, congratulations, you got your license. Thank you. What do you need to bring in to not scrape by, but to have some stability? What's the number? Oh my God. A month? Yeah. I want to say maybe 1,000 at least. All right, let me help you. Let's Rachel and I are going to help you. Rachel, help me out here. So let's talk about rent. Are you renting or do you have a mortgage? What's going on there? So I rent a room from my mom, or I guess the house from my mom. So I pay her $430 a month. So $430 a month. I try to, but okay. But I've been behind. Okay. I have a car note currently. I still owe $3,000 on my car, so I pay $170 a month for my car. My car insurance is $200. And then I guess gas monthly is maybe $60. Okay, and then you got food, right? So actually, I have government assistance for food. Government assistance for food. And how much are you getting in child support? I make $500 in child support. Okay. And the $1,000, that number, Erica, you said, is that including the child support, or is that in addition to? Yeah, no, everything's included. Child support, the child tax credit, all of that, and then I guess. Yeah, that's $800, so $300 from the government and $500 from child support, right? Okay, so yeah, so my big thing for you, Erica, right now is it feels to me, and I could be off, you're probably not, that it's a little just out of control. Do you feel that? There's no structure. There's no structure, okay, and that's what I think is the first step for you, Erica. I think you're 25 years old. I think you're smart. I think you have, how old's your daughter or son?
4. Daughter?
My daughter's 4.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You got a 4-year-old. You're in and out of this job. You have a dream of a realtor. You're trying to pay. You're getting money in 3 different ways. Government assistance with food. I mean, it feels out of control. So I think my number one goal for you is to get your income up. And Ken can speak on this, but he said it one segment ago, and that right now is one of the best times to get a job.
Yeah.
In the history of our country. Yeah. So there is going to be a job out there for you. It may not be a realtor. I kind of want you to set that aside just for a little bit. Yeah. Because again, I want you just to be stable. I want you to have a stable job, something that you're making, if you can make $30,000, $40,000 a year, that will change your life, Erica. And I really believe there are jobs out there that you can do this. You can find something. Again, it may not be the dream job. It may not be the passion, but you are making an income. And what you're doing is you're adding stability to your life. You're going to be moving out of your mom's house, paying rent, living on your own, having dignity, that you are doing this and you are self-sufficient. And you can do this, Erica. You can do this. And once you live that life for a season, and that can be whatever you choose it to be, but to have that under you, just to breathe and actually have control over what's going on to the point that you can, I think is going to let your mind be clear. I feel like you may have jumped on this realtor thing because it felt like I can make a lot of money and maybe I love people and this feels like a good thing and I'm just going to try it. Is that kind of was that the motivation into it a little bit?
No, so my uncle's a big realtor here in this city, and he helps me with it. He helped me with school and everything. But last year I was at a 9 to 5 and I worked there for 2 years, and I guess I was a little spontaneous, but there was a drama in the workplace, so I left. And at that time I had been in an apartment, so I racked up debt in the apartment, which is why I moved back in with my mom and everything.
I hear you. Okay.
All right. So, Erica, you ready for a little pep talk?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. Your uncle's a big-time real estate guy in that area in San Antonio, and he helped you get there?
Right.
Okay, now listen.
Yes.
Is he for you? Does he want to help you get started and win?
Yes.
Has he told you what you need to do to win?
He has.
Is he gonna help get you a couple of deals early on? Is he in that position to be able to do that, or is he just gonna mentor you and you got to go out and do it?
Well, he's mentoring me.
Okay, now listen to me. So Rachel's right. So real estate right now becomes part-time, but what you need to do is go out and get a job, and I want you to say no to the government assistance pretty darn quick. You're getting the child support from the baby daddy, and you got a good renting situation with your mom's house. That's fine, but you better go out and get yourself a really good day job, and here's why. You've got to get stable, get your budget in order. We're going to get you connected to a free membership to Ramsey Plus, okay? So we're going to get you in there so that you've got every dollar. You've got a clear path for financial peace and how to get your house in order. But listen to me. Get a good paying day job, start saving up some money, and create a cushion for yourself to where you can take 3 months and go all in on real estate. But that's 6 months, a year from now, after you get everything cleaned up. But here's the other deal. You tell Uncle, get me with a good broker, and I'm going to sell and show as many houses as I can on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'm not going to sleep. You sell a couple houses part-time, it is possible, and that's going to fast forward this whole deal. But go get yourself a good paying day job. Say no to the government assistance. You don't need it, and it's holding you back. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz, and we're taking your calls about your life, your money, your work, relationships. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Phone lines are open. So, Rachel, there's a lot of hype, as you know, in the real estate market. My goodness. I mean, it's hot, hot, hot. Buyers who think they've now got to buy. It's got to happen right now because of how the market is. And a lot of that is because mortgage interest rates have reached some all-time lows, and buyers are frantic to lock in at the best rate possible. We're talking rates in the 2% range, which for reference, 3% was the gold standard for decades. But you're probably not going to get rates any cheaper than that. It doesn't give you the green light to do stupid. So that means buying before you're debt-free or with zero down payment, or offering way over asking price and waiving inspection. Those kind of moves are high risk, and they're always going to cost you more than you would save in the long run. So get your head out of the craziness and look at your situation. Do you have a down payment of 10 to 20% saved? Can you afford home ownership? Do you want the responsibility? If and only if your answer is a big fat yes to all of those questions, does it mean that buying a home is a smart move for you right now? So it's easy to get caught up in this hype. That's when you need to get the real facts, cold, hard numbers staring you in the face before you get too serious about buying or selling. Use our free mortgage calculator. There you can plug in your numbers and see exactly what your home ownership options are based on your budget. Go to RamseySolutions.com and click free tools. That's RamseySolutions.com. And click free tools and get the mortgage calculator. That's going to give you a whole lot of information so you're not walking around in the fog. All right, let's get to the phones. Spokane, Washington is where Mike joins us. Mike, how can we help?
Hey, Ken. Hey, Rachel. How are you guys doing today?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. Loving life like always. So glad you just got in talking about real estate. So, because that's what my question's about. So my wife and I are debt-free. We have our 6-month emergency fund, and we actually have some money put aside, about $25,000 for a down payment for our house. Here's where it gets a little confusing for us: is she's going to school full time and not working. I only make $40,000, $40,000 to $45,000 a year up here, and the real estate market is insane. And with her, she is doing one more year at community college for cash flowing, and then she'll use my GI Bill for the last 2 years. Next year, when she tries to do start her junior year, apparently it's a very competitive program, and she thinks that she may have to take a gap year if she doesn't get accepted and take 1 or 2 classes, which means she'd be working full time, and we'd be able to save up enough to buy a house. My question is trying to figure out if that's wise with her not having a job yet and still be in the middle of school, but also because once she gets her job in dental hygiene after she's done with schooling, I will be quitting my job, going back to school sometime between now and then, and going into youth ministry.
Quick question before Rachel dives into some of the numbers. Why are you going back to school to go into youth ministry? Do you have to have a degree to go into youth ministry?
Yes and no. So I do. You and me have actually talked about this. I actually called your show like 4 weeks ago, and you called me out on on radio.
Good. Was I right?
Yeah. Okay. So I will be going into full-time ministry. The churches around here, they want some actual education behind the knowledge before. I have the passion and everything else. I've got experience. But I need some in-depth, knowledge that comes. It wouldn't be a certificate. I'd start off with a certificate, which only takes a year.
Okay, I got it. So we talked about that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I just that's a money equation. So I've already told you, I guess, what I needed to tell you. So that's good. But look, one little caveat on that. If the answer is yes and no, then let's focus on the no part. Let's run that angle down. And a good church with if you got good connections and you got a heart and you got some biblical education, I think you can do that. So don't just assume that that's what you guys got to do. Okay, on this money question. So should you buy a house? That's the heart of the question.
So Mike,
it's more of
So quick question for
whether
you.
we should go ahead.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So you're making 40. she's going to be going to school. When she gets out, she's going to be working. You're going back to school. So how much will she make when she's all done, which I know will be in about 3 years, but roughly what will she be making?
So low ball in this area for a dental hygienist is 65 to 70 grand.
Okay. But that'll be in 3 years.
Yep.
So what I would say to you, Mike, is people own a home on one income all the time.
Okay.
That is doable. It is doable. Now, is it the wisest thing for you guys right at this moment? I think owning a home is an amazing goal. And I think home ownership is something that I encourage everyone to work towards because it's just a great investment over the long term. And I think owning real estate is wonderful. And you guys are in a really great position, Mike. I mean, you guys are out of debt. You have 6 months of expenses in addition to $25,000 saved for a down payment. So you guys are in a position that you could own a home. I mean, a home at this point for you, obviously depending on price, is not going to be an absolute curse. But I would say you guys are in a lot of transition, and it feels a little unstable. And the market is insane right now, like you said. So there's no rush to go in and buy a home. So if I would be okay if you guys press pause on the stream for about 3 years until she has this job, and then you can quit yours, go back to school, and do what you guys are doing. So it doesn't feel like you want to buy a home from even your questions. Is that right?
No. The reason why we started the Dave Rant, the financial peace stuff, was because we were about to buy a home, and I went to my pastor in tears, and because I was in the military at the time, I was a 6 foot big guy going to my pastor who's not exactly big, and I'm about to burst in tears because I was terrified. And he's like, "You need to go talk to these guys, talk to this guy," and he led us to financial peace, and that's when we got out of our debt. We got everything figured out. So the main is just, and if she ends up getting accepted this next year into the school, buying a house won't happen because she'll be in school at the time. It was more of if she has to take a gap year and is working full time and we make more money, we can put even more down on a house, depending, like what you guys said, like on the price. But if we were able to get it down to where we put like 30 or 40% down and made it to where even when she went back to school, we could easily afford the mortgage.
So,
would that still be wise? Or
as long as it's 25% of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed rate, you guys just got to run the numbers. And if it's within that then yes, you're good. You guys have done the work. You've set yourself up to do it. Now, again, if you press pause and just waited a little bit, you're in no rush. I mean, this is the largest financial purchase you'll probably make in your lifetime, is a house. So we don't want to rush into it, but you guys have set yourselves up on a firm foundation to be able to pull the trigger, Mike. Again, if the numbers work and that payment is no less than 25% of your take-home pay, in account to her going back to school, like run all those numbers out.
Yeah, Mike, it's a simple math problem. You answered your own question, but I think, Rachel, you're right here. If you buy it based on this, Mike, it's a good decision, right? Based on the way we've talked it through. But it's also not a bad decision for you guys in so much transition just to chill out and keep saving money and rent for a while. There's just nothing wrong with that. You're not wasting your money or throwing it into a wood chipper. I think a lot of people feel like, if I'm not buying a house and I'm not getting equity and I'm not getting the tax write-off, I'm throwing my money in a wood chipper. I might as well just be burning my money, and it's just not true.
Right.
I think you guys got to do what you think feels the best emotionally. You're doing the right things on your money. You're walking the Ramsey Solutions steps out. But do what feels right on this. The houses will be there. You guys are in so much transition. But the best is yet to be for you. And congratulations on what you guys have done so far. Proud of you. You guys are going to do great work. All right. Don't move. More of your calls, more of the Ramsey Show coming right up. This is the Ramsey Show, America, and we are thrilled that you have joined us to talk about you and your life, your money, your purpose in your work. We're thrilled that you have joined us. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz, and we are taking your calls. So let's get to the phones. Idaho Falls, Idaho is where Andrew is. Andrew, how can we help?
Hey, guys. I'm really glad you're running the show today. I have a question. I'm actually sitting in my car right now dressed with a white shirt and tie. I was about to take my resume and references page into a job.
Okay.
All
right, now, Andrew.
The final decision maker.
Andrew, I got to ask, this is relevant. Do they wear a white shirt and tie in this place?
They do. It's a credit union.
All right, good. Because if they didn't, I was going to tell you to take the tie off and unbutton the shirt and roll up the sleeve. So good. I'm glad you're dressed the way they're dressed. Okay, keep going.
Ken Coleman's fashion segment has ended.
Well, you got to dress like everybody else. You can't go in overdressed for a job interview.
That's right.
All right, go ahead.
That's right. So as I was driving in, I got an email saying that I wasn't selected for the position. And it wasn't that I was driving into an interview. I was driving in to try and get ahead of the curve and introduce myself to somebody. And it seems like over the last several months, I've applied for dozens of places and dozens of positions. And where I always fail is at the HR level. It's like I can't get my application to the interview process.
Yeah.
And when I tailor my resume and application specifically to the job and I'm fully qualified, what can I do to get past that HR stage?
Yeah. It's about connections. It's about connections. You can't even get an interview. You're not even in the interview process. On the dozens and dozens, you're not even really talking to a person, right?
Uh-huh.
You know why? Because you're a nameless, faceless resume. Connections, my man. Relationships. This is how we get past the HR screening. I just shared an article about this, Rachel, on the Ken Coleman Show last week. They are now estimating that 10 million qualified candidates a year are not even getting seen by hiring managers because of the artificial intelligence and the technology that helps people gather resumes faster, right? Yeah. The days of walking in off the street and handing your resume are over. And so, Andrew, I'm guessing this is pretty consistent for you. You're submitting all these resumes online, correct?
Yeah. And I've been trying to connect with the decision makers on LinkedIn. I've been trying to go in and talk face to face with people.
Nope. See, that's all creepy now, right? I think it's great, right? But I'm old school. Rachel will tell you, I'm an old soul. I'm like an 80-year-old, 40-something guy. But here's the deal: that doesn't work anymore. Nobody wants to do that. So you're not linked. Listen, LinkedIn is good for information. It's not good for connection. Let me explain. You can find out valuable connections on LinkedIn, but then we got to pick up the phone and talk to people, all right? I wrote an entire book called The Proximity Principle, which takes care of this, and I'm going to give it to you at the end of this call because it's really about the art of connecting. That's what the whole thing is. And it says this: in order to do what Andrew wants to do, he's got to be around people that are doing that and in places where it is happening. So I'm going to break that down for you really, really fast, all right? Andrew, you want to be working in a credit union, doing banking work, I'm understanding finance work?
What I want to do is I want to work on financial literacy education is what I want to do.
Okay, great. So here's the deal. Who's working on financial literacy education in Idaho Falls, Idaho? And you probably don't know the answer to that right now, but you can find out the answer to that. And then when you find out the answer to that, so it's not just these companies, it's going, who's the hiring manager over there? Not the HR rep. I want to know who the hiring manager is. I want to know who it is. And so what's the name of this credit union that you're in the parking lot of right now?
It was called Mountain America Credit Union.
Okay, great. How hard is it for you to go online and figure out who the decision maker is over there at that place? How hard is that?
Not too bad. That's what I was about to do. I was about to walk in and talk to him.
Well, you can do that, but again, they're going to look at you like you got horns growing out of your head. Here's the deal. I'm okay with you that you're there. So walk in and just go, hey, who's the hiring manager? What's the person's name? We'll see how that goes. But here's the deal. You can find that out online. And let's say we come up with a name. I'm going to make it up right now. Let's say that it is Sandra Robinson. All right? And let's say you go, okay, it's Sandra Robinson. I got to get in front of Sandra Robinson. Sandra Robinson is the one making the call. How do I get in front of Sandra Robinson? Here's the deal. I start going to everybody I know. close friends, family members, acquaintances, social media relationships. And I'm going to say, hey, do you know anybody that works over there at such and such XYZ credit union? I don't, but my Uncle Larry does. His wife works over there. Would you connect me to your Uncle Larry? And so we talked to Uncle Larry. And see, this is just a simple game of connections. I've got to find somebody who knows somebody over there. And here's how this works. So you make those connections before you ever apply. And then if they say, yeah, you know what, I'll vouch for you, I'll take your resume in. So I'll apply online with the artificial intelligence, right? But I'm also going to have Uncle Larry take it into his wife, Sue. And Sue's the office manager over there. And Sue walks into Sandra and goes, hey, I've heard great things about this young man, Andrew. Do you understand that process?
Yeah, that would.
That's how we get past HR. Listen.
I'm giving you an applause, King Coleman.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
It's actually not brilliant, Rachel, but it is, hey, who do I know over there? And if we go, I actually don't know anybody at XYZ Credit Union. Okay, we don't take our toys and go home and pout and suck our thumb. We say, who do I know that knows somebody over there? And at the end of the day, this is how we get past. And this is how people get hired at Ramsey Solutions, by the way.
Yeah. Referrals.
We have tens and tens and tens of thousands of people apply every year at this place. Well, I'm just telling you, if you don't know somebody here, good luck. You might as well go buy a couple lotto tickets right after you submit your resume, because the chances are the same. You've got to work relationships and connections, because when somebody hears something good about you, here's what's happening. This young man he said dozens and dozens of resumes. Let me tell you what's happened. Dozens and dozens of people have gotten the job because they had some connection, some relationship, some credibility. They got their resume pulled out of the pile.
So the whole who you know thing.
It actually
It's
works.
true. It's true. Yeah.
Jenna, let's give this young man a copy of my #1 best-selling book, The Proximity Principle. Now, here's what the book does. It's all about connections, all right? The 5 people you need to know and the 5 places you need to be in to where opportunity comes up and knocks on your door.
Yep.
The old days, I got to tell you a fun story.
Okay, go.
No, go ahead. You were going to say something.
No, I was going to say I've been in this job for 12 years, so I haven't gone and applied to a lot of places.
No.
But I kind of still thought the old school, but it doesn't work. The idea, though, of put your best foot forward, and you walk in there and you shake their hand and you
do
meet
that
them.
now and somebody goes, please put a mask on. Do you know what I mean? Like the days of going to a receptionist and going, hey, who's the manager here?
I know.
Like they're going to look at you like, why are you going to come in and do something?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's true. No, I 100% know.
I hate it.
It's just funny that my idea is still like in the 90s.
Well, here's the story I was going to tell you.
I'm still in 96.
So one of my most inspiring stories when I first started out, I was 33, 3 kids, and I wanted to get a broadcast. And I read a story about Katie Couric, the legendary NBC anchor of the Today Show.
Yeah.
When she first got her start, she camped out outside of an office building in Manhattan, and there was an executive producer that she wanted to get her reel in front of. And she notoriously and famously camped out and stalked the dude. And she got to him.
Yeah.
And it helped her.
Yeah.
But that's we can't it's a great story.
100%.
And I love it.
Totally.
Okay, I love everything about it. But that's romanticized, and that's really, really hard. We just can't do that anymore. Yeah. And so a lot of people, here's what I want people to hear, because a lot of people listen to the show right now, and you're going, I'm Andrew. I'm up to my eyeballs, Ken. I can't take it anymore. If I get one more no response, because people would rather hear no, Rachel, than crickets. But you submit all these resumes online and you don't hear anything. You feel like a loser.
Yep.
Folks, listen to me. You're not. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You're submitting all these resumes and you feel good about your activity. You might as well be spitting in the wind. It's just a long shot. Your resume is getting lost in a digital pile. This isn't my opinion. These are the facts. 10 million people in 2020. The resumes, they were qualified, they never even were seen. Get out there and meet people and say, hey, will you connect me? Watch what happens. It's not what you know, it's who you know. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back, America. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Rachel Cruz as we take your calls. Today's scripture is Colossians 3:2. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Our quote today from G.K. Chesterton. One sees great things from the valley, only small things from the peaks. Good stuff there. That's pretty deep. You have to think through that one for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, folks, to the phones we go. 888-825-5225. Amy is joining us in Modesto, California. Amy, how can we help?
Hi, Rachel and Ken. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'll be able to talk to you.
Yeah, great to talk to you.
My husband and I, thank you. My husband and I have always been kind of on the Dave-ish side until we were loaned a copy of the Total Money Makeover. Now we have the Gazelle Intensity and the Laser Focus. We keep getting derailed. So my husband's question, more than mine, is we're on the fence about refinancing our house and including all our debt, consolidating our debt into that refinance to try to chip away at that a little bit quicker.
Okay, so what debt do you guys have besides the mortgage?
Besides the mortgage, we have $22,000 on a car loan and $16,000 on a HELOC.
Okay.
And we only have about $100,000 left on the mortgage.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the only reason I don't like the idea of consolidating with the mortgage and honestly debt consolidation in general is that part of that Gazelle intensity is getting these wins. And when you have this big Everest mountain in front of you, it starts to chip away at the emotional side of the process. And so there's something to be said about, hey, we're going to knock out the 16K, we're going to knock out the 22K, we're going to save up and get an emergency fund in place. We're going to do some other things before we go and tackle the big mortgage. So I would not consolidate them all. I understand the idea of it because you guys are pumped and you're motivated and you're ready to get rid of everything. But I would not consolidate all of them. I would keep it still so separate. So the car, Amy, let's talk about that for a second. $22,000. How much is it worth right now if you were to Kelley Blue Book it?
Probably about 30.
Okay. And how much do you guys make a year?
We're at about 160 gross.
Okay. Awesome. So you got a good shovel for sure to be working on this. And so you guys can have, man, Amy, if you guys buckled down and really, really, like you said, you've been Dave-ish, you kind of been just messing around here or there. And I mean, if you tighten up everything, I'm like, you can get all this paid off in way less than a year.
Our goal is really 2 years for the whole thing, including the mortgage. And we keep getting derailed, Rachel. We keep getting derailed with our air conditioner just broke.
Yeah.
That's why my husband wonders if it'd be cheaper to do the consolidation, if it would save money.
Well, in the long run, mathematically, I don't know. I haven't run the numbers. I don't know the interest rates, all of that. But the idea is that is you guys are getting derailed, not because the debt's not all together. It's because, what is happening with your life. And so what you guys, again, do you guys have a budget? Are you guys working on on a zero-based budget right now?
My husband is a little more of a free spirit than we have a budget, but I have to say it's hard to stay on the budget.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling some of this in the conversation. And the idea, Amy, is, there's a little bit of the reality that if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And so there has to be a level of change for you guys. And I love that you said at the beginning of the call, we're feeling Gazelle Intense. We read the book. We're doing all this. But I want you guys to really clean this stuff up because you can. You have an amazing income. You could get rid of this debt so fast if you guys tightened up, cut your lifestyle, like you're not living, this glamorous doing whatever you want. You really are tightening up and cleaning this up because it's going to be an amazing thing. Once all this is paid off and you guys have the cash flow to go and save up for an emergency fund, because I want you to start, press and play on retirement again after that. There's some stuff to do to chip away at that mortgage, and you guys can do that. You have the income. You just have to have the restraint and the ability to stay within a boundary, which is the budget. And so you guys working together, it could change the game.
Yeah. The bottom line is Hubs being a free spirit and you not being able to stick to the budget because of that is making the HVAC issues that bigger of an issue to where it derails you where it shouldn't. And this just comes down to straight up determination. It gets down to going, and you don't want to sound like a nag, and I know you wouldn't be, Amy, because you're amazing, but it gets down to going, hey, I just looked at the numbers. Had we stuck to the budget and this HVAC thing happened, here's what the reality would be versus what it is now. Because it does feel frustrating when you feel like I keep getting derailed. Well, you're not getting derailed.
Yep.
This is called life. And by the way, Rachel, I've always found in our life, when we're saving up for something that we want or we're excited about something wrong goes. It's just nuts.
Yes, it happens.
You know what I mean? It just happens. And by the way, that's just the deal. But it's like, it doesn't mean that you go, well, we tried. It was a good plan. It was good for a while. But HVAC went, and the car went, and this, so we can't do it. You just can't have that mentality.
Yeah.
It's like, do we want to get on the other side of this or not?
It's the fight. Yep. Yeah. And Amy, and honestly too, I mean, even selling the car, I mean, $22,000 of it.
I was going to say, sell that car. I'd sell it right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They owe 22 on it, as I recall.
Yeah.
And it's worth 30?
Yeah.
Oh, tonight.
Yeah.
Here's why. Right now, not only is housing market hot, so is the used car market.
Yes.
So I'd go ahead and sell it now, and you got 8, and I'm not kidding you when I tell you I've been all over these used car websites. You can buy a very decent little sedan.
Yes.
For $5,000.
Yes, absolutely.
Pocket 3.
Absolutely.
And put it on the debt.
Yep.
So,
yes.
I mean, I would sell the car.
Yeah, and so it's going to take these kind of decisions, Amy, where you just change the way you've been viewing it, right? You've been doing this and going along, and this is a good idea. We're going to try it, but kind of, sort of. Some months we're on. We're kind of, it is that ish sounding, right?
Yeah.
And it's got to be to the point that you're like, it's not working. Like what you guys have been doing, the reality is, and that's not to be mean to you, Amy, but it's just to say it feels frustrating. The numbers are frustrating, all of it. So to say, we're going to just do something different. We're going to give this a go. Yeah. Give this a go, Amy, sell the car, give this a go till summer of 22. And if you hate your life in summer of 22 because of everything you've done, and you're like, I want to get back in debt, and it's more fun not living on a budget, all that, you're welcome to. It's a free country. But I'm telling you, when you have this discipline and the wins, Amy, the wins that you guys are going to start feeling, because you've had a lot of losses, and I hear that in your tone and in your voice. It's defeating and it's frustrating. But man, once you start getting those wins, it's like, oh, okay, this is possible.
100%. You know, it's interesting when we listen to our debt-free screamers here on the show, it's always fun to ask them, was there a point in your journey where you went from the struggle and the gazelle intensity that has to be there throughout, but that became kind of normal and you were okay with it because you then experienced momentum? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you get to the point where you go, oh, we've had our heads down and we've been busting it and living like no one else, going crazy, rice and beans and rice, all the things. And now we go, oh, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's kind of like when you get halfway through the race, you know, it's like, the second wind is a real thing. I heard that term from runners because I hate running. As you know, I have a deep, abiding hate for running. And one time, Dave Ramsey goads me into the Nashville Half Marathon. You know I did it. And I retired, by the way, as soon as I finished. I was one and done. But here's what I did learn in the training process, that you do get to a psychological moment where you realize, oh, the hardest part of the run is here. I made it through it. I'm kind of starting to level off. And then, oh, I'm closer to the finish of my run than I was to the start.
Yeah.
There's something magical that happens. And it really is that second wind.
Absolutely.
And in these baby steps, certainly baby step 2, the second wind will come. I don't know when it will come for you, but it will come. But let me tell you something. You only get the second wind if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Every day, every week, every month, even if it's a couple of years, you got to do it, because on the other side of this.
And math is not going to get you out of the problem.
Oh,
Consolidating it all isn't. So this second wind, it is work.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be able to math your way out of this.
It's the truth. Rachel Cruz, always fun, my friend, to be with you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hey, our producer is James Childs. Our associate producer and call screener is Jenna Sears. And we want to thank you, America. It is your show. It is The Ramsey Show.
Have
a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.